What is going on, IF Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about a new study that was published in October for intermittent fasting. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Edward V, and I'm back with another video for this week. And today I really want to touch on this new study that came out for intermittent fasting. I'm going to put the link to the study in the description so you can go to it directly. Let me just take a look here. Hold on one second. Take a look here. All right, so it's the transitional medicine.biomedcentral.com. So there was a study that was done in March. This study, however, was published in October. But this study is very, very promising for the newly found information that it's backing what intermittent fasting has stood for such a long time. Now remember, a lot of the Achilles heel, if you will, for intermittent fasting was always that you guys don't have enough studies that have been done. There isn't enough studies to prove this. There isn't enough studies to prove that. And one thing I've always said when it comes to studies and when it comes to these kind of things is to do your own study with your own body. Always test what your body can show you. So if you try intermittent fasting, how do you feel? Do you feel like you have energy? Do you check your body fat percentage? Do you check your weight? Do you combine the data from your weight and your body fat loss and your lean mass to understand if you're maintaining weight? A lot of times I've told people who've lifted weights for a long time that I was able to, within 8 months, retain 97% of my muscle tissue while losing weight. And everyone was like, you're crazy that you didn't do that. And I told everyone that I didn't casually do it. I didn't just do it and looked at myself in the mirror and say, yeah, it looks like I got my muscles. I literally bought fat calipers from day one just to see how accurate or how powerful the system was going to be. And I tested myself. And most of the tests that were done at that time were just with like rodents and stuff like that. But what I did was I said, okay, I don't like the pace that's happening with the diet that I'm using now, so I'm going to try it. And there's nothing I could lose from trying it. So that's what I went ahead and did. I tried it, but I bought fat calipers to ensure that I had like more information than just looking at a scale. Of course, after the first week, that whole thing was out the window. I was just that whole trying it was out the window. I was already 100% in there with intermittent fasting. The moment that first week passed by, yeah, it was no brainer for me. As intermittent fasting's interest evolved, what I love is that it allowed for people to look at intermittent fasting more seriously, and even the scientific community to look at intermittent fasting more seriously. So they went ahead and did little studies here and there, and every single time the fitness industry would try to cut those studies down, as if their studies didn't have their flaws. Every study has flaws, but this study showed that a lot of things are happening in this study, right? A lot of data was gathered. It was 8 weeks. They had a group split into 40-40. So it was 40 people in one group and 40 people in the other group. The method they used was the lean gains. The lean gains is the 8-hour eating window with the 16-hour fasting window. And this was what they used to test intermittent fasting versus non-intermittent fasting. One critique that people have always had with the intermittent fasting studies that were done in the past is that they did it with non-athletic or non-resistance trained individuals. So this study was done with intermediate trained individuals, which means people who have been working out for 5 years. That is a significant amount where your body has developed whatever resistance or whatever rhythm it's been developing for some time now. So and remember, both groups had that same setup. So what ends up happening is the study comes out, the results come out, and it's in line with everything people who have pushed intermittent fasting has been saying. Literally, I mean, for example, it showed that muscle tissue was protected. They've maintained their muscle tissue. Granted, the other group also maintained their muscle tissue, but this was a stark contrast to a lot of people who have said that, hey, intermittent fasting decreases your muscle because you need to ensure that you're always eating or you're going to lose that precious muscle tissue that you love. No, that is not the case. I always was adamant. I've said that I've maintained 97% of my muscle mass over the course of 8 months, and that was 100% true. I was literally able to do that, and it was unthinkable for a lot of people that work out for a long time to think that because they've been told you gotta constantly eat, you gotta constantly feed the muscles. The muscles are too fragile to deal with any sort of time frame without eating. But let me go ahead and explain some other stuff. In the IF group, there was significant increase in hormone adiponectin, in the hormone adiponectin. That was not seen in the other group. And do you want to know what that hormone does? Adiponectin acts in the brain to increase energy expenditure, to increase calorie burning, basically. To increase calorie burning, with the conclusion of the study that your muscles remain intact. So what is your body mobilizing? You tell me, what is your body mobilizing as the energy expenditure? Your body fat. Because it's either your muscle or your body fat. And if it's not touching your muscle, then it's touching your body fat. And that's it, game's over. And the thing that I love is that as we keep moving on, the studies become even more elaborate, more stringent, longer time periods, and we learn even more and validate even more the benefits of intermittent fasting. I'll put the link right in the description. You guys can check it out for yourself. The entire breakdown, exactly what everything was, all the different variables to it. But it is a triumphant stake in the ground for intermittent fasting enthusiasts, and it is moving the movement forward, which is what all of us as IF warriors need to continue to push. The movement to change the thought process, that you no longer have to constantly eat, that you no longer have to be beholden to the constant barrage of fitness gurus and fitness industries telling you that if you don't take their protein shake, that if you don't take their supplements, that if you can't go ahead and put these things together and eat all the time and fuel yourself, that you will lose everything you worked for. These things, these studies, and your own testing of your own body and the results that come from it is proving everybody otherwise. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you need any other questions to any other videos that I've had in the past, I have one right here and I have one right here. And please, of course, subscribe. I would gladly appreciate it. Have a good one, IF Warriors. Peace. What did you do? How many calories did you eat during that time? What exactly did you eat? So I'm gonna go ahead and break that down in this video. So that video took off back in 2013. I want to say 2013, 2000, January 2013, 2012. First, and then letting that be, digested, and letting your body go ahead and use that as your food for the day, and then moving forward for the rest of the day fasted till you break your fast the next day. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you some tips that you can use to increase your skill, or not skill, but increase your ability to eat a lot of food in a small eating.